Hi friends. Kind of like Pentatonics, only better. But what do I mean by that? Well, as guitar players, we're probably all quite familiar with Pentatonics. And like many things in life, they have their pros and cons. The pros, of course, being they're easy to play and they fit over lots of different harmonic progressions. So they're fairly simple to apply. The cons might be that they're only 5-note scales, so there's not a tremendous amount of color there. And there are no half steps, there are no semitones, so again, not a lot of spice. They can be a bit bland. Now, as one caveat I want to mention for the scope of this video, I'm not necessarily referring to how to apply different pentatonics over various harmonic progressions. Like, for example, one common thing a lot of people talk about is something like, if you want to get a Lydian sound, like say it's an A flat, Lydian A flat with a sharp 11, just go down to the major 7th and play a minor pentatonic and you get most of those Lydian colors. So you're superimposing one pentatonic over a different harmonic structure. I'm not really talking about that in the context of today's video. So that still applies for this idea, but it's sort of different topic. So what I've discovered, or what I wanted to do, was to find a way to say, well, how can I use the pros of existing pentatonics and remove some of the cons and do something else instead? What could I do with that? And I came up with this idea, and maybe other people have done this, I'm not quite sure. If you know of any, please leave a comment. I'd love to see what other people have experimented with. But the general concept is take a mode of the major scale. I happen to use in the opening, I'll take you through that, is the A Dorian mode. And most people might hopefully know like 3 notes per string, or mostly 3 notes per string, are in position playing of the scale. And of course, there's many different ways to play it, but within the modes of the major scale, within 3 of the modes of the major scale, lies the minor pentatonic scale. So inside the A Dorian scale is an A minor pentatonic scale. It's just leaving a couple notes out. And conversely, there's 3 modes of the major scale that contain the major pentatonic scale. And if you don't know about this stuff, I'll link a video here that you might want to check out a little bit about the modes. But basically the concept is map out the entire fingerboard for a given mode. And I chose A Dorian, and I'll overlay this image so you can see the notes of A Dorian all over the fingerboard. And then the locations highlighted in red are the A Dorian scale as if it were in the 5th position and playing 3 notes per string. Mostly there's one with 2 notes per string. So it's basically position playing. But if the idea that I have here is, again, one of the cons of pentatonics is there are only 5 notes, and it's basically repeated in each octave, right? So A, C, D, E, G, A, C, E, D, E, A, C, D, E, G, and so on. It's the same 5 notes in 2 different octaves. Well, the idea here is to map out that mode over across the entire fingerboard and look at starting from each of the notes along the low string in 2, 3, 4 note or 4 fret groupings. So for example, I'll highlight this one here so you can see it. If we look at those items in red and I'll box around it, you see that we have this very simple box of all whole steps across the fingerboard this way. Now the pro to this from my ears is in the upper octave we have the 9th, the root, the 6th, the 5th, the 4th, and the minor 3rd. And in the lower octave we have something a little bit different. We have the root, the flat 7, the 5th, the 4th, the 9th, and the root again. So they're different in the different octaves, But when you put them all together, it gives you the full sound of the mode. So basically that's the idea, is to move up and down the fingerboard with these groupings. So if we go to the next one, starting on B, we get this nice semitone at the bottom and semitones on the top. And to me, that's a lot more interesting color than a minor pentatonic is. If we keep going, starting on C, get this again, a few semitones. So some nice melodic possibilities in there. Going up higher, we get a very simple pattern to play. Going up another octave, which I actually wrote down in the open position. Another one that's, I like it up higher. Pretty simple to play. And then finally, yeah. That one's a little awkward, but really interesting sound. And actually, there's one more, which I wrote down here. So that's the general idea, is to map out the entire fingerboard, to look at these pentatonic-like sections, but the con is the pros that we're keeping is they're all two notes per string, so they're very easy to play. They apply to the same type of harmonic situations that any mode or your major minor pentatonics would, and they have a bit more color. The thing we added is there's more color because there's some semitones, and it's not just 5 notes repeated, it's different in the 2 octaves, so we get different intervals. And if you look through those diagrams that I overlaid here, you'll see that in each octave, in each position, there's a little bit of different color. So thought this was a very useful thing. Hopefully you can find some applications for it. Good luck.